Diplomatic tensions flared at the G20 summit in Brazil this week as world leaders grappled with global warming. According to sources, the 20 major economies managed to strike a consensus on climate finance, a breakthrough that had eluded recent UN talks in Azerbaijan.
G20 talks in Brazil have reached a breakthrough on climate finance. That's according to diplomatic sources, who say that the world's 20 major economies have reached a consensus, but a fragile one. Wealthy countries have been pushing for richer developing nations, such as China and major Middle Eastern oil producers, to contribute to climate finance. The diplomatic sources say negotiators have agreed to a text mentioning developing nations' voluntary contributions to climate finance, but they stop short of calling them obligations. The development comes as diplomatic tensions over global warming spilled out into this week's G20 summit, following a failure so far to reach a deal in Azerbaijan at the UN's annual climate summit. Although the ongoing COP29 conference is tasked with agreeing a goal to mobilize hundreds of billions of dollars for the climate, it's actually the leaders of the group of 20 major economies, who are currently on the other side of the world in Rio, who hold the purse strings. Those 20 countries account for 85% of the global economy and are the largest contributors to the development banks helping to steer climate finance. Back in Baku, COP29 remains tasked with agreeing a goal for how much financing should be directed from developing countries, multilateral banks, and the private sector to developing nations. Economists told the summit it should be at least $1 trillion. But the breakthrough at the G20 over voluntary financing is overshadowed by the return to power of US President-elect Donald Trump. Trump is reportedly preparing to again pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. His election throws into doubt how much money the world can muster to address climate change, possibly without the support of the world's largest economy.